Hey yo, this is Dash, and I don't have a don't you hate it when moment. I am actually multitasking at the moment. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. So I have to make a run, and running some errands today because it's Saturday. Hey crazy lady. That was a crazy lady that lives up the street from my house. She really is crazy. Okay, so this is a video response. This is a video response to one of my subscribers, GotsNoLuv4Ya. I responded to videos for her before. So she told a story about how her two young sons at the time, who were 2 and 3, how they got into some sugar. Long story short, they got into some sugar and had sugar all over a particular room they were in. Alright, so she challenged her subscribers, myself being one of those, she challenged her subscribers to, I'm gonna go this way, sorry. So, obviously, I'm driving. I'm in my work clothes, if you can't tell, my nice beat up Dickie shirt. Alright, so back to the story. So, she challenged her subscribers to tell a story about, parents to tell a story about things that their kids have done to top her story. So here's mine. In case you didn't know, I have 3 kids. My 3 children are at the moment 6. My oldest is a son. He will be 7 in December. My younger son is 6, and he will be, no, he's 5, and he just turned 5 in July. Okay, and then my 3rd child is my daughter, who is the youngest. She is well, she's almost 11 months. She'll be 11 months at the end of this month, September, and she'll be 1 obviously next month in October. So, all right, with those things being said, here's the first story. First story happens when my oldest son was probably about 18 months to about 2 years, and he was in his, in the room that he was in at the time, in a crib, and he used to wake up and then kind of talk to himself and be kind of chill. Got a part in this road that I'm on, it's rather bump-tastic. So he used to sit in his room and do what he needed to do, until he kind of got fed up and was like, okay, I'm sick of being here by myself. I'm going to, cry and get some attention and get someone to come and get me. So this particular morning, I woke up and I heard him in his room babbling, and I was, a room away or what have you, and I didn't necessarily pay him much attention. So about 15-20 minutes go by, and I hear him all of a sudden start crying. So I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of weird. All right, and I go in the room where he is, and as soon as I cross the threshold, and every parent knows that, kids poop. So as soon as I cross the threshold, I'm like, damn, little dude, you stink, I'm like, you had a big poop. So I go in the room, and then I turn and look at him, and I just stop. Yeah, the worst. So he got into his diaper and took the diaper off, okay, and proceeded to have poop everywhere. The good thing, though, is that the poop was contained to the crib because he couldn't get out of the crib. But there was poop on the crib, there was poop on the sheets, there was poop on him and poop on his hands. Thank goodness it was pretty much like he was just playing with it in his hands. It wasn't like all in his hair. But, I mean, yeah, it was everywhere. It was all on the wall, behind the crib. So the good thing is, like I said, it was contained to just the area where he was in the crib. So I'm looking at him like this, and I had to call for backup. So I had to call my wife into the room because I just couldn't take it. I wouldn't have been able to take it. So I called her in the room. I grabbed him, took him right into the shower, and she proceeded to start cleaning up like the crib and the wall and other places like that. I mean, it took us probably a good hour to get it all cleaned up. I mean, really, it was a shitty situation. All right, second story, and I have 3 because I have 3 children, so I can tell you a story. Actually, it is more than 3. But, oh, my exit came up a little sooner than I thought. Okay. Second story involves my middle son, or my middle child, my younger son. Whoa. Sorry. Okay. So, here goes. Well, let me get out of this. Alright. Here goes. His story is, he was probably about the same age as my oldest son when he had his little episode. And the thing is, though, my youngest son, he got into Vaseline. And just to make a long story bearable, because the main story was the first story, you know, my first son was covered in poop. But, so he got into Vaseline, and he had Vaseline all over his sheets in his bed, all over his hair, or all in his hair, all over himself. You know, it was just a mess. So the second story is Vaseline everywhere. Okay, and then third story is again with my second son, and he the second time got into powder. And you know, we use powder to keep little kids fresh and their diapers dry and things like that, so they won't have diaper rash and blah blah blah. So he found some powder. I think my wife must have left some powder laying down. Yes, I'm blaming her because it wasn't me. I don't do things like that. So he left, or she left some powder down, blah blah blah, and he got into the powder. The whole thing is, he took powder, and he had powder from, you know, head to toe, basically. Now the good thing though is, while I'm thinking about that, he did get a lot of powder into his, he had on training pants at the time, so he got a lot of powder in the place where it was supposed to be, but nonetheless there was powder everywhere and it had to be cleaned up and other things like that. Now while I'm sitting here thinking about this, or thinking about the story, I actually tried to record this last night directly from my laptop and it failed. The upload failed. So I'm doing this from my camera, or with my camera now, and like I said, I'm multitasking because I'm driving to run some errands. So, this morning, my daughter, my wife changes my daughter, and before she can put a diaper on my daughter proceeds to pee on my book bag, okay? Now, as a parent, you know that if you take that diaper off, the first thing you need to do is get another daggone diaper to put back onto the child, okay? And my wife just wasn't fast enough this morning, and again, this was, you know, no fault of my own, but by the time she got back with the diaper, she had already peed, and I went to pick up my book bag, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? Why is my book bag wet? And I'm like, does she not have a diaper on? She said, no. And she laughed, and it wasn't funny. So my book bag right now is in the washing machine, because that was one of the things I did before I left the house. So, God's no love for you. I think I've topped your single story, unless you want to come back, pop pop. You know, I think, yeah, I won. All right.